Hey, what's going on, folks? Boxing fans from all walks of this earth. We have Skywalker Boxing Media in the building there. How's it going, Skywalker?
Hey, salute, salute. Thank you, Stephanie, for coming in.
We have
Thanks for
Poppy
having me.
Chunyeo in the mix as well. What's going on there with your Poppy?
Yeah. It's your boy, Poppy Chun Yayo. Heavy on the poppy, light on the yayo. Yo, let's get right to it. You feel me? Today we have a special guest. We interviewed her earlier this year during Women's History Month, and it was our pleasure. It is our pleasure to introduce to you guys Stephanie Simon. Stephanie is 2024 Olympic trials champ at 146, a 2 times national gold gloves champ, a 2 times USA boxing national champ, a 3 times national champion, a United States Marine Corps Boxing Hall of Fame, Team USA Boxing 2021 to 2024, United States Naval Academy graduate 2017. Man, this list is extensive. How you doing, Captain? How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for the awesome introduction. Just coming off my pro debut win, and I'm still trying to soak it all in. It's just a crazy feeling, to finally be in the ring as a pro now, and after all that preparation as an amateur, to finally put everything together where it really counts and matters. But I'm doing well. Doing well. Happy to be here.
Cool. That is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that first pro fight, a lot went into that. I know. Hey, you should have been a Olympian. We don't have to get into that story. We know what the deal was there.
Yeah.
But that being said, I know a lot went into that. I believe when I first talked to you, kind of alluded to, hey, you're potentially going pro. You were thinking about boxing and MMA at the time because you do your thing in both. You have that wrestling background, of course, and we know if you know how to box, then you got the striking background, essentially outside of the kicks. But I'd imagine you can do some of that as well. But you chose to ultimately go boxing. So, kind of what led to that decision?
Well, still not too late to look into MMA, but I'll say that boxing right now, I'm sharp in it right now. So I feel that it makes more sense to establish myself in this sport first and then kind of go from there. I think that with women's boxing, it moves fast. My good friend Sandy Ryan, for example, she just had her 3rd title defense, and that was under 10 fights. So when you really think about the pace and the tempo of how a woman's career moves in boxing, especially at a higher weight class, higher weight class, 140 and above, 147 and above, I think there's maybe 70 women in the world in my weight. So 4-0, 5-0, I'm looking at a title shot. One of my friends just got an opportunity. She just got the call today to fight for an IBF title. And, she had been boxing for, I'm not going to say the name, but she has only been boxing for a handful of years. And maybe, between 10 to 15 fights, like right there, she's already fighting for a world title. So it's like, it happens quick. And I believe that given another year of training, especially with the atmosphere I've been in right now, I'm training at Churchill.
Nice.
Churchill Boxing Gym. And I'm surrounded by excellence. I'm surrounded by champions and people that are, they got their head on the right way.
Stephanie, I wanted to ask you, last time we talked to you, you were making that road trip. You were leaving Florida, you're headed to California. You stopped at my gym here in Albuquerque, got some work in with Yoruba, right? And how do you compare California training and sparring compared to where you were at before?
It's like night and day. Not just as a woman, but as a guy. I mean, looking at the guys and the work they get, there are people from all over the world that are coming to California to train and to spar and to box. And I've now sparred or trained with like a handful of champions, current world champions, former world champions, the first female to be an undisputed world champion. I've sparred with Olympians. It's like incredible the caliber of people that I've been in the same room with. You know, I've seen Andy Ruiz at my gym. I've seen extremely wealthy, well-known, successful people coming through my gym outside of boxing. So it's not just the boxing that's great. It's like you're in an atmosphere of just like high caliber humans. And I'm very glad I made the move. I'm happy I got the heck out of there. I love Miami. It's a fun place to be. But for me, in terms of boxing, in terms of training and focus, Southern California just 100% takes the cake in terms of like the place you want to be, you know, for boxing. So
Hey, look, Stephanie. Now we if the panel for those of you guys that don't know, all four of us are we're veterans, and we all had some tough jobs, right?
yeah.
So let me ask you something about your training regimen. And also for those you don't know, if you go to Stephanie's Simon's channel on YouTube, you can see her performing some of the basic activities, different sorts of movements, basic activity. It's something to get into. But back to the training aspect. So with you being a Marine and having the sort of discipline that you have as far as being physically and mentally tough for the training, would you say that you outwork some of the other people? Because I've noticed this as being a civilian that, other civilians don't really have some of the same work ethic that we have in the military. Right. So would you say that you outwork some people?
Yeah, I fought Friday and I was in the gym Monday.
That's right.
Right.
I know for a fact that military people, we move different. And I've looked at multiple athletes that are pretty good, that could be great, but the one thing that they're lacking is discipline. Right. And it's really in between fights. And for me, I'm never really out of camp. I'm always 3 or 4 weeks away from being ready to step in the ring. And that's the mentality of like, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. And in the military, you have to be in that mindset because you never know when you're going to get deployed. You never know when you're going to go out there in harm's way. You never know when you're going to be asked to do the ultimate thing, which is fight for your country, right? So, Marines don't, same with Army and every branch, like we don't have the luxury of like, let's just chill and let's take a few months to kind of relax. Like, no, you don't have that option. It's not an option because as soon as you let yourself go, your enemy's like, perfect. Like now I can see that you are human. You want to appear to be like a freaking machine. Right. And that's the thing is like, that's why I'm always posting my training. I'm always sharing that I'm running, constantly freaking putting in the miles, constantly in the gym, because I know that people out there that will fight me one day are watching. And it probably gets in someone's head to see, damn, this person is never not in that fight mindset. They're never not training. Like, damn, that's kind of scary. So it's a lot of it is mental. You don't see me drinking. You don't see me partying. I'll go to a rooftop bar after a fight and eat pizza though. I'll have me a good pizza, but I haven't drank. And next month will be my 8th year no drinking. You're not going to get me. I stay out of trouble. I stay out of the freaking the drama. I will call people out though. I'll call you out when you're involved in some crap and then you want to act like you're not. I'll call you out. But me personally, I don't sleep with who I'm not supposed to. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't do drugs. I don't associate with convicted felons. I don't associate with people that are freaking losers. I don't associate people that are known to deal with steroid use and to give those types of things to athletes. And I'm being frank right now because I'm calling out certain people indirectly. And one day I'll step in the ring with those people that I'm referring to right now. But that's the thing is like, you can be an Olympian, you can be a world champion, you can be all these things, but you are who the hell you hang out with.
That's right.
And as a Marine, as a person that comes from a military background, I don't freaking waste my time with losers. I'd rather be alone. I'd rather be in my room playing the freaking guitar and my trumpet by myself than out hanging out with people that aren't going to get me anywhere. So, and that was a long-winded answer, but
No, that's
what I had to
some of these
say.
people need to hear it.
Yeah, I want to tell everybody. I want to tell everybody real quick. Stephanie Simon, she was combat arms. Not only she's a badass female because I got out in 2010. I was in a Ranger battalion and I was a parachute infantry. You know, what I mean?
Badass.
And we didn't have females at all everywhere I went. When I went to Korea, it was like a few females on the whole base. You know, and
Mhm.
always everywhere I went, like female, there's only a few, you know, and I give you a lot of respect because, you know,
Thank
being
you.
an all male combat arms unit, you were an amphibious assault unit, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out
The
to
I appreciate that. I never did anything badass like jumping out of planes,
you. Yeah.
but I'll say that
I'm a window cleaner.
because I was, you know,
hang off
I
the
was
buildings. Yeah.
you did some badass stuff right there, and I
I just got
applaud
off
you.
the skyscraper about an hour ago. I was up in the air.
Oh my gosh, adrenaline junkie.
Yeah.
Right,
Every
right.
day, I hang off the buildings every day. Yeah.
It's crazy. No, I was gonna say though that when you're a 23-year-old girl essentially tasked with being in charge of a bunch of men that have never been led by a woman, it's a type of pressure that I can't describe. It's like you literally have the lives of other people's. Their lives are in your hand, whether you're in combat or not. I am fortunate that I didn't go to combat. And again, people are like, "Oh, I want to see the action. I want to get out there. I want to kill the bad guys." But I don't think people understand what happens to people that go to combat, the kind of PTSD and the type of trauma that people go through when they do that. So for me to act like, you know, oh yeah, I didn't go to combat, but man, I really wanted to, it would be insincere. And I will say that from the bottom of my heart, my heart goes out to the people that have been in combat and that have seen the terrible things they have. And I applaud you, and I have mad respect for you. I didn't do that. I've been overseas, but I never saw combat, so I'll never take credit for that.
Yeah, even regardless, like officers, like second lieutenants coming into I was in Iraq, Afghanistan, so I was during that time frame. We were getting brand new officers. We even get West Point officers, and they weren't getting respect. Man, it's hard to be an officer, not only for a female or a male, just to be in charge of a unit that's already been deployed and you're brand new. It's to get respect like that. And yeah, it's just hard. I always try to give them, you know, because you have to be college educated, you have to be smart, you know, to get through officer training corps, you know, in the Army or you know, OCS and all that stuff. But
for sure.
And
I've carried those experiences through with me into being a fighter, because you just got to be on your toes. You know, in the military, as a Marine, a female Marine, male Marine, any type of Marine, any type of military member, you got to be on your toes. And that's really how it is as a fighter too. Always ready. It's going to be a roller coaster, ups and downs. And you got to have a warrior mindset, warrior mentality. You know, I'm willing to die in there. And I think that that's brought me success. And it gives you a little bit of an edge when you're in the ring with someone that has kind of only ever done boxing. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think I applaud people that have been in boxing since they were kids and then, you know, 8 years old, 9 years old. That's awesome. But some of us have experienced stuff outside of in real life that have given us thick skin, you know, and almost like this, like maturity too, a little bit of like grown up. You feel like an adult. And some of these younger cats, they might have the skill, but when they get hit hard, do they have the heart? You know, so but
there's a guy in the chat, his name's David, he works for Mo Boxing No Problem. That's a network that I work with. And
what's going on?
Omar, I met Coach Omar at a Top Rank fight, a Jaime Munguia fight, and he says he knows you pretty well. And he's Diego's coach, but my friend David said he met you, says nephew Mario trains in the same gym as Chelsea May.
Chelsea, that's my girl. We're texting today, and Omar, he's at the same gym that I'm at. He's awesome cool, coach. Yeah, he's very, very good, like very sharp mind in terms of the boxing skills and stuff. He's always ahead of the game. His body, the big thing Coach Omar teaches is body shots. So I don't know if you saw Diego's last fight, but he got him
Yeah.
with a body shot.
Oh yeah, it was a nice one. He
It was
didn't
a
even
body
put his
shot.
full power in there. And
He missed the two,
went to
and
the right.
boom. Yeah, that's kind of Coach
Crazy.
Omar's thing.
Yeah, I met him at the Munguia fight. He was sitting behind me, so he was cool.
That's awesome. Yeah. Small world. Small
Yeah.
world.
It is. It really is. Small world there. Melissa Ty, salute to you. Melissa Ty says it's good to see you, Stephanie. Congratulations on
Hello.
the win. Oh, Melissa.
Thank you. How are you, Melissa? Good to see you. Good to see you. We're
Yeah.
in there. I'm about
We
twice
gotta
the
talk
size
about
I
that.
was last week. What was that?
We got to talk about that. Going back to close to your, your home from Cali, and on a big card, on Alicia Baumgartner's card.
Yeah, talk
Mhm.
about that.
Yeah. How was that?
It was the coolest thing ever to be around an all women's card and to like already have known a good chunk of the girls that were on the card. I was in the amateurs with a lot of them, and to like debut with them, that was awesome. But then also to have somebody at the, I guess like the fame and like the skill of Alicia Baumgartner, it was like a perfect sandwich of awesomeness, I guess you could say. I was just very blessed and honored to be on that card for a debut, because I know a lot of debuts can be sketchy. People talk about going to Mexico and like traveling to other countries. You know what I mean? It's like you hear some of the stories, and I've seen videos of Devin Haney in Mexico, like beginning of his career, fighting somebody's uncle. I'm very blessed I didn't have to go through that. I was on a huge card, and it was a private event. So that part was a little different because, you're in a very small space with only 200 people. And usually, on a fight night, you have your family, your friends, a bunch of people there. But it was actually kind of good because I was able to hear my coach, and it wasn't so overwhelmingly loud that I was able to actually focus. So it's a good segue into the next bigger fights that I get in. It was also inside of a 360 like sphere, like totally digital world. So it looked, it's literally where they filmed like huge Marvel movies. So it's kind of cool to be in that. Yeah. So Trilith Studios is where we were at, and that's a huge studio where they film a lot of movies and stuff. So overall, I felt very grateful. I had a very tough opponent. She had a chin, and she was an MMA fighter. And if people that are watching don't know about MMA fighters, they are tough as nails. They might not have the best striking ability, but the more you hit them, the stronger they become, almost. So I felt like every time I hit her, she would like she just kept going. She did not give up. So I have mad respect for her. I applaud her for her performance. She won all 4 rounds, and she was tough as hell.
You're extremely fit. When I seen her and I compared her and you, like, I sized both of you, and I was like, damn, this girl's like, fit and almost the same size as you. I was tripping out.
She was strong. She had a build. She, again, like a lot of, I'm not trying to be mean, but a lot of people's debuts, they fight people that look like they never worked out their life, and they're off the street. Like they literally went to like Costco, and they went to a cashier.
Right?
Yo, are you down to fight?
We're seeing some people with some Dollar General outfits on and do-rags.
That's what I'm saying. Like they're in jean shorts, straight up jean shorts and one shoes and one basketball shoes, ready to freaking go. You're like, damn. So no, not this girl. This girl had guns. Her legs were like thick and muscular. I said, okay. I saw her on Instagram freaking deadlifting a couple 100 pounds. I was like, she might not have the best boxing skill, but she's gonna be strong. She's gonna be tough.
She had them Francis Ngannou trunks.
She did. She did.
Yeah.
She had tree trunks.
I just watched Alex Pereira, another UFC fighter, spar a heavyweight boxing guy, and
saw that.
Yeah. Oh my God, man! Hands down, and just getting cracked and cracking back. It's like these guys they're built different. So for you to get that sort of challenge in your first fight, and for you to get through it the way you did is very impressive. Let me ask you something about just a perspective type thing. Was there anything unique that you took away from the experience? Like maybe something that you would do differently or do better as far as preparation to get the ring walk, and did you take anything away from the main event people and their style of entry, or could you maybe elaborate on that?
Yeah, so because we were in the Trillis studios, there was copyright rules in terms of a walkout song. So I had a very elaborate walkout plan to do old Michael Jackson like dance and stuff.
Oh yeah.
But they ended up kind of cutting that out. So I think in the future, I want to definitely double tap on all the little small details, because yes, the fighting is the most important part, but it's important to know all the details leading to the fight so that you're not distracted when you get there. So these are things you should clarify. Even pregnancy tests sounds random, probably not applicable to a lot of people watching this, but try not to use the bathroom as soon as you get to the venue, because they're going to have you do a pregnancy test, right? And then the other thing is a lot different than the amateurs is you can't just go out and go warm up. Like, you have to have eyes on you by a commissioner. You're a lot more monitored in the pros than you are as an amateur. So I was trying to do my warm up and stuff. They're like, hey, no, you can't be out of sight of this person right here. So you can't just go out and do your warm up there. You have to be within sight. And if you go to the restroom, you got to have a coach with you. There's a lot of these like rules and stuff that I wasn't aware of that I'm glad I'm figuring out and realizing now, because next time I won't be shocked or surprised by it. Because I was like, what do you mean I can't do my warm up outside? I have a very ritualistic warm up I do. They're like, yeah, you can, but this guy has to be watching you. You can't go beyond this point. So it's just a much more controlled environment in the pros. And like I said, I'm happy that I was able to learn, kind of navigate through all those things here and in a smaller venue, kind of a smaller show. And I learned a lot of things. Like, you got to be on point. You got to be within sight of certain people. You can't just go off, do your own thing. So in terms of what I've learned about press conferences, your walkout, putting on a show, people are paying attention to your character and your personality and you as a whole brand. And a lot of fighters, they say it, and I hear it all the time. I'll let my fist do the talking. I stole the show. I stole the press conference with the words that came out of my mouth. I had the most memorable press conference speech because of what I said. It had meaning, it had purpose, and it related to thousands and thousands of fighters across the country. And not just the country, the world, because there's stuff going on with the amateurs all over the world. There's politics, there's favoritism.
Yeah.
Talked about sexism, and I talked about it, my experience in the Marine Corps. I hit a lot of little wickets, but the thing is that I invoked an emotion out of the audience of who is this person? I love what they have to say. They're not afraid to speak up. I want to see them fight. And that's the thing, is you have to bring in personality and interest people more than just with your boxing.
Oh yeah.
It has to be, you got to have something special about you. And that's what makes a star. And I learned that night. I just said a few things for a minute. And before I knew it, everybody wanted to talk to me and everyone wanted to have a conversation. Oh, you inspired me with what you said. And then even with the walkout, right? I didn't just walk out. I had a theme. I was the MJ theme, and I did my little kick, and I walked out with confidence and poise. And I was pointing at people and having fun. And when you have fun, people have fun, right? And then you get in the ring, right? You get in the ring, and that's your ring. And when you fight, I used to fight very tense. I used to fight like, I want to kill you. I relaxed and I was like, let me box this person. This is a brawler. I'm not going to get in a brawl with an MMA brawler. I'm going to box them. And I can go in there and try to knock them out. But guess what? This person is used to getting hit with 4-ounce gloves. So
And
let me box them. And that's what I did.
No
So-
blows.
No, yeah, that's legit. No, that's legit right there. That's good stuff. And not everyone has Layla Ali attend their debut fight, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Man, we
Man.
talked for 30 minutes, 35 minutes. I freaking pretty much interviewed her.
yeah.
I was just asking her so many questions. I was like, so what was it like? Because I don't know if people know, but I'm sure you guys do, but she had her boxing debut at 22 years old. There was 80 media outlets there ringside. She had never even stepped in the ring. She never boxed. She didn't have an amateur career. She went straight into the pros at 22, debuted.
Yeah.
I was like, how do you deal with that kind of pressure? She's like, that's all I've known my whole life. It's being under that kind of pressure since I was a kid. So she talked about a lot of different things, about management, about relationships with people, and how to go about your career. And it was great. I mean, I was just like, I can't believe you haven't told me to go away yet. She just kept answering the questions. So it was awesome, truly.
That weekend was special for women's boxing. Like that's all that was like the main. I mean, everybody wanted to see women, and the women's still, they did their thing. I mean, fight of the night,
sure.
Mir and Ryan. That was a great fight. That was
man.
Cool.
Hey, I have some stuff to say about that. So, for one, my girl Sandy is amazing. I love her to death. We did our camp together here, and she did most of it in Vegas, but she came to LA. Like when we talk about dedication, right, and discipline, she and her coach on multiple weekends would drive 4 hours, 5 hours to Vegas, leaving at 5 a.m. on a Friday.
Wow.
Come spar 10 rounds, go back home, then come around, do the same thing Monday. Drive 4 hours, 5 a.m., come and spar 10 rounds, go back home. Then they would spend the whole week in Vegas, and then Friday again. Drive 4 or 5 hours at 5 a.m. to come spar 10 rounds, leave. Like, that showed me that I'm a hard worker, but like, damn, I can work even harder. And yes, I feel like I have dedication, but that is some serious dedication. And to be honest, the more I watched the verbiage of Michaela leading up to the fight, and the more I watched some of those interviews, when someone says, I got a surprise for you guys, I got something special, fight week, stay tuned, and it's in the context of something other than a fight, that leads me to believe that you were talking about something other than the fight. And what happened other than the fight was Sandy Ryan was attacked with paint by someone that knew exactly where she was at the exact time of where she was. At the same moment of her getting out of the hotel, they knew exactly when to come out and attack her. That person had to have been somebody in boxing, had to be somebody that was in the know, had to be somebody that was told to do so. And then when you post something on your Instagram, when you're wearing a green outfit and you say green is better than red.
Oh yeah, I didn't see all that.
What are you referring to?
Right.
You are a freaking bully. And a lot of people looked up to you, including myself. There's an interview, post-fight interview that I have with Michaela after the trials. And she said, don't worry about the politics, about whatever. She didn't say that, but she said, don't worry. There's plenty of opportunities for women in boxing. And I believe that this was someone that I could look up to. And then I see these types of things happen, and I'm like, wow, that is low. And yes, is there speculation still whether or not it was tied to her? Yes, there is. But I'm not stupid. You guys aren't stupid. And it really does seem like that was planned by her. And that's very disappointing if it was, because she's an Olympian. And she's a former world champion and now a world champion. And no matter how mad you are, no matter how badly you want to win, how badly you want to be a world champion, you don't do those types of things to people.
Right.
You don't do that. It's classless. It's very low. Just go out there and win. Win against an opponent that's not charged and emotional because of an attack that you put on them. That's a true champion, right? Win.
Hey,
when your opponent's at their best.
Stephanie, the honor game is not what civilians do. They're not into honor. They're not into, not a lot of them. I'm not saying everybody. I'm not putting everybody in the same box, but they're not. It's not. Everybody is in principle, and to be prepared mentally, psychologically, physically, you got to be ready for somebody to do something crazy to you to try to get you off your game plan. It seemed like she fought. She fought angry for sure.
Yeah,
she did. She did.
Fought angry for sure. And I think their fight actually overshadowed the incident prior to it, to be honest. People probably would have just only remembered the paint incident if they didn't put on the type of fight that they did. But they put on the type of fight that it's like, dare I say it, it's like Caitlin Clark bringing fans to watch the WNBA type stuff. What happened there is probably going to be better for a women's boxing, to be honest, or boxing in general.
Well, that rematch, I'm Sandy's. Well, as soon as that camp starts, I'm here, girl, and we're going to. And look, I've entered the chat. I'm a pro boxer now. Yes, I'm 1-0. I'm early in my career. I didn't take 200 punches, 200 fights worth of damage in the amateurs. I'm in and I'm out as a pro. I'm coming in here. I got a short window. I'm here to make a statement, win some world championships, and use this as a platform to move on. You guys know me. I play 5 instruments. I'm a talented person. I'm an intellectual person. I'm a smart person, and I have other talents outside of boxing. I plan to use those in the future. But while I'm in the game, I'm calling people out.
Yeah.
I'm calling people out, and I'm making things known and heard because they need to be. And Sandy, I got your back. Like, let's do this thing as a team. This rematch, you got me, you got Carson. We got your freaking back. And if she had fought Michaela the way she'd been sparring me, and let me tell you, the way she was sparring me, I was having to pray before going into sparring. Not because I was getting my ass whipped, but because I knew, like, look, if I put my guard down at any point in this sparring, which, by the way, she only gave me 5 rounds. 5 rounds and 5 rounds with somebody else. I will get hurt because she's sharp, she's fast, she's clean, she's crispy, her timing's perfect. She fought like that. She fought like that against Michaela. It would have been a different story. But look, she's human. We're all human. If that happened to me, if someone threw paint at me, I got attacked right before my fight, I would have done the same. I would have tried to kill the girl. Like, I would have been emotionally charged. I think most people would be. So you got to give her some grace. Something like that happens to you right before your fight, the day of. Shoot, I'd do this. I'd be like, okay, time to hurt you. And then I think my whole game plan would be tampered with,
Yeah, no, well, you get to learn from her. You don't have to go through the same thing. So when somebody does something foul, she's like, okay, you got it. It's cool. You pick your girl up. I just handled her.
You
gotta be.
We know her strength and conditioning coach real good. He comes on the show all the time, Coach Evans Tobler. And there was like a lot of hate. Like even like a month ago, Michaela popped on the show. She was in the background because Coach was training her and Coach was on the show. And, she just wasn't. She didn't like Sandy. All she was just calling her out. I was like, damn, the hate is real. Like I didn't, until they started having the press conference, people started noticing. But I noticed it a while back. I don't know what happened with the DLX issue. I guess she was upset because she was going to the same gym, or I'm not too sure what happened with that.
Look, the girl jumped 2 weight classes.
Yeah, that is true.
She jumped 2 weight classes out of nowhere. So if
she muted?
2 weight classes above yours, I don't understand why that's not okay. Are they DLX? Are they not allowed to train any female? Is that what you're trying to say?
Right. No.
As a guy, if you're a guy coming from another country into a gym and you're trying to go into the best camp and the best place you could possibly go to for boxing, which Vegas is considered the mecca of boxing, why wouldn't you go to the greatest gym or the greatest place for yourself to make the best camp for yourself, right? If you go and there just so happens to be a guy there that is 2 weight classes lower than you, how are you supposed to know they're going to jump 2 weight classes out of nowhere? And now you guys are opponents. How are you supposed to know that?
Right.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Right.
And that happens. The small world in the sport of boxing. So that's not uncommon. So I don't know how it became such a deal breaker right there. But what happened certainly was very interesting because I wouldn't have expected something of that nature. So I guess true colors are shown in the line of fire. But I will say that this was, and one of the things that stood out for me, that this was just one of those opportunities there for Michaela, because I was surprised that she was getting another title shot, just coming out of
a loss,
Natasha Jonas, and
they're
moving up and down in weight or whatnot. So I was surprised. So that might have been a tactic right there in terms of, hey, this is I'm getting this title shot again. If I lose this one, then that pushes, or in theory, pushes me further down the line.
100%. What I even told Sandy, I was like, she has everything to lose. Michaela has everything to lose in this situation because she's top ranked sweetheart.
Yeah.
And she's already coming off a loss. So she has to win this or something not great could happen. But the thing is, it's like, it doesn't matter how big of a stake that there is. Like, there is no excuse to do something like that. There's none. And then, I don't know if you saw the posters. There was posters all around, I guess, Madison Square Garden of Sandy's face. And it was calling her a whore on the poster.
Oh, wow.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
Man.
And it's like,
look, man, I'm telling you,
it's boxing. I get
Sports.
it. They try to get in your head, but are we in high school? Yeah.
Sports in general. Like, listen, man, we won't dive into all that stuff, but there's been a lot of athletes that have gone to other countries. They fought here, they fought other places, and they had to deal with some existential circumstances. People calling them names. If you go to Europe, they'll break out into song on your ass, right? And they might be saying something foul to you. That's just how fans get down. And another thing, maybe you don't know, but people be having moles in their camp. Like you could be sparring with somebody that knows somebody else, and they're telling them what you're working on in the gym. So those are just some things to be mindful of going forward to make sure you tighten up your security around you so that you ain't got somebody over there giving your game plan away. Those are things that happen as well.
Yeah, I didn't think about the moles. I've heard of those.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I don't mean to rewind it back, but you caught me off guard with the pregnancy thing. So let me get some clarification on that. So is there like a month that you could be pregnant and they wouldn't allow you to fight?
You can't be pregnant at all. No,
not at all.
Can't, no.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, and she kind of alluded to it because on the amateur side, you have to fill out this form.
I'm not pregnant.
Yeah, basically, So this is different right here. So that surprised me right there as well, Stephanie. So this is day of pregnancy.
We're all in the bathroom. All 18 women are. Oh, my test didn't work. The first one didn't work. I'm like, crap. Like trying so hard to pee. Like it's every single person has to take.
What if someone got a false positive?
Oh my gosh, I can't imagine. You probably would have heard the screaming in the bathroom. Ah, And one person that had kids was like, man, I know I'm not, but it's still always a scary moment to take a pregnancy test. It always scares me. So one of them said that. I was like, oh, that's funny.
Yo, baby. Oh yeah, bitch. Your baby getting ready to have shaken baby syndrome before it get out.
The baby's coming out
like talking all type of trash.
Coming out boxing? No, I don't even know. That's crazy.
Who are you calling out? I know you were posting. You were talking about those. I was telling you about those misfit girls, and they're not good role models like yourself. You know what I'm saying? And any one of them that you would like to fight in the future?
Oh, those girls aren't ready right there.
Eventually I want to fight some of the top females in boxing. I don't want to waste my time with the misfit girls, but you know what? I will say this. If I'm in the building phase of my career, which we all know, usually the first couple fights, your opponents are opponents. I wouldn't mind fighting one of the BBL girls with big old lip injections and she's down. I mean, hey, Misfits just reached out to an ex-UFC fighter that trains at my gym here and there. They just reached out to him and they offered him like $250K. They gave him 6-week notice for boxing.
Wow, that's not bad.
So I'm like, look,
that's amazing.
Am I a fan of the idea of fighting an influencer? No, but when you put $250K in front of it, it's like things change. That's life-changing dollar signs right there. So it's hard because you don't want to be a sellout. You don't want to sell out to the promotion that is making a mockery of the sport. But then at the same time, you're like, well, damn, that's a lot of money. Wait
a minute. Hold on now, Stephanie. Let Papa Chun Yayo, let him remind you about that question I asked you when we interviewed you in February. We had you rank the belts, legacy, and money. Now, if you said legacy, belts, and money, you can't be over here talking about 250,000 and I'm in.
Correct, but guess what? Legacy can be greater built when you have a financial stability.
Yeah.
And once you have financial stability, you have more control over certain things because money
Right.
speaks, right? So there is definitely a gray area. Because if you're broke as a joke, it's going to be kind of hard to leave a legacy
Yeah.
because certain things can't really play out unless you have some financial help. So there's a fine line. I still feel that way. But
Well, rank
I
them
will
for
say-
us then again. Put them in order for us. Belts, legacy, and money. There's
legacy,
no wrong answer. It's
legacy, belts, and money. Legacy, belts, and money. But sometimes I wonder if legacy and belts get meshed together because I don't feel that most people that have left a legacy in boxing didn't have belts. Everyone that left a legacy in boxing at some point had belts.
Right.
fight everybody.
They
That
fought.
was
They fought
unbelievable.
everybody. They fought frequently, and they fought everybody. So to lead that, to have a legacy, you have to be willing to fight the top guys, but also be willing to lose.
Oh yeah.
And that's the thing is a lot of people are not willing to lose anymore in this new era of boxing where the -0 is such a big deal. People are not willing as much to fight, knowing that there's a potential that they could lose.
Right.
That's why there's not a lot of legacy fighters right now in comparison to like the Roberto Durans and the Sugar Rays and the and the marvelous Marvin Hagler, my favorite. So I don't know. You're right. It's a good thing to think about.
You got that marvelous Marvin Hagler type tenacity to you right there, so that can take you a long way in the sport right there. Do what you got to do there. There's someone I want you to fight, Stephanie. I'll have to send you a message of this person. I think you'll give her that work. But
Tell me.
I'm going to send you a message for sure. But it's someone I've had in mind right there. Hey, if it can happen, it can happen. The zone, maybe the zone,
Yeah.
When due time.
Do we got?
And hey, the other thing too, right, is 140 was not fun to make weight wise, but I was not sunken in, and I could have. I can go down to 135.
Oh,
and there's some great fighters at that 130, 135, 140. Some great potential there.
Yeah, I think you're in a good spot. That's where a lot of talent is. 135, 140, 130. Just in that range. Once you get beyond probably 147, it starts to thin out a little bit more. I think if Claressa could get down to 147, getting below that, I think would be super hard on her body or whatnot. But I think that would open up a lot more fights as well for her in terms of not having to fight some of the same opponents that she's previously gone against.
Imagine her and Michaela fighting.
Right.
But that'd be crazy
I
because
would
they're
like
both
to see that one.
Olympians. I mean, that I cannot imagine. That would be crazy. But at first, I want to see Sandy and Michaela again.
Yes.
I think the second rematch would be phenomenal.
With fans, we're running back in a huge place. I mean, Madison Square Garden.
Huge.
Yeah, in the big arena right there.
But,
right spot.
Hey, you know where it'll probably be though? In the UK.
Yeah.
Gonna be over there. And
Really?
guess who's good? I mean, usually, right? In a rematch, you do it home country the first fight, and usually the second fight.
Didn't Devin Haney had to go to Australia twice?
He was in Australia the first time they fought?
Twice.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
He was
He was there twice. He did. But hey, Australia, they had a lot of people turn up.
Australia. Mm-hmm.
Australia. Put another shrimp in the barbie.
Yeah.
Nar. They always say nar. They don't say no. Nar.
Hey,
Yeah.
Stephanie, do you have a nickname? I mean, what we doing with this marketing thing?
I gave her a nickname.
The Fighting Marine. They got the Goddess of War. That one's interesting. Then I've Happy Feet. I've heard that's a couple.
Hey, the Fighting Marine can't go to anybody. Sorry, Jamel Herring, others that are out there. It can't go to anybody. You have to be of a special breed to get that nickname. Talking about the Gene Tunneys of the world. And Stephanie Simon, she fits that billing. She can carry the Fighting Marine moniker to the next level. I'm saying that right now.
That's in my top 2 right now. The top 2.
She's our Gal Gadot. She's our American Gal Gadot.
Wonder Woman.
Okay. She was a sniper or something.
She was in the Israeli army. Yeah.
Hey, listen,
she's bad.
Shoot, I mean, you said you looking forward to the future. What you got? Some WWE, you got some movies, we got some documentaries.
I mean, look, every other minute I'm running into a movie producer, a director. I'm like, my gym is owned by a big movie director. I'm like, every other person in here, isn't that guy in Foo Fighters? Isn't that guy in this? Didn't he direct that movie? I'm just like, what the? But it's good, right? Because it's like, I need to rub elbows with these people because when I retire,
a boxing movie.
I'm trying to be with Gal Gadot freaking in a movie, Maybe I fight her.
We need to turn carpool karaoke to a legitimate show.
That's right.
You got a formula.
Can you
right
imagine?
There.
That would be really fun.
Time.
That'd be really fun to just have like random people like in the car. It's kind of similar to James Gordon. Is it not James Gordon? Is that his name? What's his name? Is it James Gordon?
Is it?
What's his name? The big guy, the heavyset British guy.
I know who you're talking about. Is that his name though? James Gordon. Might be
it's something
name.
Gordon. Yeah, I think so. But I mean, why not? Why not?
That's probably his name. But no, he's a funny guy.
He's funny.
Stephanie, we had a question from someone that said, "What do you think of Amanda Serrano versus Katie Taylor?" Essentially,
huge. And we've all been waiting for that rematch because I don't know who was there in person. I was there. Oh, James Corden. Okay, I just got told it was James Corden. Okay. Thank you, Carson. Corden. With a C. Corden. Very close. When I was there in person watching the fight, I've never been in an arena or in an environment that exciting with that many people screaming on their feet, getting goosebumps and chills. Never in my life have I ever been in an environment like that. It was truly one of the most special, in terms of boxing moments for me, it's the most special moment in boxing that I've ever been a part of in person. And that excitement, I know that round 2, it'll be even bigger just because of how competitive that fight was. It was close. I had Amanda winning too, because I feel that she landed the bigger shots. And there was many times where there's some rockiness. There was some like legs were about to be gone, but they're 2-minute rounds, which is another thing I will talk about later. But I think 3-minute rounds would be better because that last minute is where I felt, man, if there was one more minute in that round, somebody would have got knocked out. So I'm very excited and I hope that they fight again. I know they're supposed to fight again, but that's going to be a huge fight. That's freaking, I'm there for that.
Looking forward to that one.
Looking forward for sure. That. What else you got?
Hey, will we fighting 2-3 times a year? I know you got something lined up.
So I'm supposed to fight. I'm glad you asked. I'm supposed to fight again in December in Miami, potentially, with the same promotion. And that'll be cool. I have my mother is from Cuba, and most of her family is in Miami. And then my dad's side too. My dad, most of his family is too. He's not from Cuba, but so I have a lot of family, a lot of friends there. I lived there for 2 years, and it'd be cool to fight there and to even do part of my camp there too, because it's very easy to cut weight out there because it's so damn hot. But it would be in like potentially the Hard Rock, which I don't know if you guys have ever seen.
I've been there.
Freaking it's awesome.
Yeah, I've only been to Miami once, but that'll be dope right there. I haven't been there, but
the Hard Rock casinos. Like one of those great.
We need to do a show with Vince. We got a friend that loves karaoke. He's like number 6 in the WBA. He's a top ranked flyweight. He's Filipino.
If he's Filipino, I'm done. I'm not gonna win this because Filipinos can sing, and every single one of them can sing.
Hey, but he got
So-
You think Sinatra too, there, Stephanie. Sinatra, that's his thing.
But we talked about it, right?
Yeah,
If you're
yeah,
not
some
willing to
real bad.
lose, you got to be willing to lose sometimes. So, okay, I accept this
Yeah.
offer, this challenge. If he really wants to have a karaoke,
He's got a big
Uh,
fight on the 13th. He's flying to Japan. He's fighting Hiroto Kaiguchi. But yeah, he's ranked in every
The trilogy for them.
a
top
trilogy. Okay,
Yeah,
10 flyweight. He's top 10
not a good
flyweight as well.
situation.
Yeah.
not a good situation.
No, we thought he won the first fight.
Mm.
The second fight he won decisively, and the first fight was on home
First
turf.
fight
The
he got
second
robbed.
fight was in
He got
neutral.
robbed first fight.
Was in neutral grounds, and now he won, and now he has to go fight at that guy's home. We didn't like
Oh,
it.
that's
we,
not
we
good.
think that he should have made that guy get in the back of the line the same way he made him get in the back of the line.
Right.
Yeah.
Go back to the back of the line, buddy, and go beat 2 or 3 more people before you come back here.
That's not fair.
Yeah. Hey, Kaiguchi's solid, but yeah, Vince, that fight should be going down in the Philippines. But you know,
Yeah.
the politics of boxing, as you know all too well, there, Stephanie. Sometimes
Yeah.
those politics come into play.
Wow, that's crazy. That's gonna be wow. When is it again? The 13th.
The 13th. Yeah.
Okay.
We
Okay, I'll tune
sponsored
in.
him. Yeah, he's like our little brother. We've been sponsoring him for like 2-3 years. He's from the same hometown as Manny Pacquiao. He's from Jensen, and
Oh wow.
he's an amazing fighter. He's like 22-2 now, right? Yeah, that's his
Yeah,
record.
somewhere in that range.
Shoot. He's been around. He's been around.
Yeah. He's
Oh,
fought
yeah.
for a championship, but he fell short. They robbed him against the same guy. This guy was the world champ before. So
Do
Well,
you
hopefully this
you
time.
speak the language?
I understand a good amount of Spanish, but I grew up in Washington State. It's like not my mother didn't really speak Spanish to us growing up. So if you know, I think one of my biggest regrets is not learning Spanish fluently.
Yeah.
But I know that you can really double your fan base if you speak Spanish. So I'm getting close. I'm getting close to being able to like be in conversational Spanish knowledge, but for the most part, I can just do an accent really well and can say a few things that sound like, oh, you're native.
And the
You know what?
sun's not often in Washington State, so that doesn't help.
No.
I'm a white Mexican, so I'll bust it on them and they trip out. They're like, "What the hell?"
I didn't know you were Mexican. You are?
Yeah. My uncle's Bobby Chacon. He was a legend. He was a Hall of Famer. He was a
Mhm.
featherweight and a super featherweight world champ. He fought all the best
Wow.
competition. He was 59-7 with 49 knockouts. But he
Holy
fought
crap.
fought Alexis Arguello, Boom Boom Mancini, Bazooka
Mhm.
Lamont, fought all the greats. You know, back then it was stacked. You know.
Yeah.
That's all that's in your
Skywalker,
blood.
Yeah.
Skywalker eats schnitzel tacos
Yeah,
with
I'm a
green,
Wiener
with
Schnitzel.
green chili on it.
Yeah, I'm a Mexican. German.
That sounds not great. That sounds
That's what he
that
made. I don't-
sounds
He
Kinda
half
gross.
German, half Mexican.
Yeah.
schnitzel.
A schnitzel taco.
It's a schnitzel taco. So you don't know which one to be.
Wiener Schnitzel, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting.
You don't know what to be, man. It's like German
Yeah.
or Mexican, mixing it up. Yeah, no, that's funny. That's funny. Actually, you know what's funny? The first thing I ate after my weigh-in last
Mhm.
week was Cuban food. There just so
Oh.
happened to be a Cuban restaurant right down there by our hotel, and it's owned by a Cuban lady. You know, not 100% authentic, but authentic enough. So I had me a
Okay.
Cuban sandwich, and she, you know, it's authentic when the bathroom's leaking from the ceiling.
Oh
There's
yeah.
like water leaking, and you know the chairs are
That's what
falling apart, and it looks like the place is about to crumble in. It's gonna be good food, and it was. You know, the hole in the walls are always the best.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah, when you find a good one.
You got that real deal.
Bathroom stalls don't have hooks on them that work properly.
yeah,
You gotta hold it.
yep. The water you're drinking is from the bathroom sink with some
Right.
ice. That's how you know it's gonna be good food. So it was good. It was good. But
Oh, that's funny stuff right there. But no, this
Yeah.
this is good. This is good to go. But man, we appreciate you there, Stephanie, being here to mix. And you said could be potentially Miami for bout number 2 as far as Stephanie Simon's pro career, right? So Hey, that's
Oh,
that's
shit.
something stuff. Now, then you mentioned with the
Yes.
promoter, so I wanted to get your thoughts. So I checked out this Brinks TV. They were and salute to them because this was the first ever all women's car, and I was thinking back to myself like this is legitimately the first ever, because I was thinking of Clarissa Shields when she fought Eve DeCare. That was they had a lot of women on the card, but I realized it wasn't. I had to go back and look back, but it wasn't all women. So that was monumental in itself, right there. So salute to Brinks TV in that regard, right there. And I've been checking
100%.
out interesting stuff going on over there on that app or whatnot. So I gotta follow it, for those new.
Yeah,
to it,
they're
you know,
awesome.
yeah.
And the owner, his guess who his neighbor is? Layla Ali.
Oh,
Get out of here.
So it's like it's perfect. It's like the stars aligned, the stars aligned. I'm very glad we were on Brinks and it was easy to get to. I think most people didn't have any issue getting in. It was free, so you didn't have to like pay freaking $70, $50 to watch the fight. So they made it very user friendly and viewer friendly.
Yeah, I like that fact. I still have the app on my phone. I checked them out. They were talking about it here the other day in the aftermath. So no, it's a good thing right there, and that's the way to go. So
100%.
successful debut there for Stephanie Simon.
Yes.
Big time stuff. The Fighting Marine, the Fighting
The
Goddess,
Fighting Marine.
or whatever it's called there. Somebody said Captain America. That's not bad too.
That's not bad.
Captain America.
But then you just think of like a buff white guy. I'm like, I don't really look like that, but Captain America, I like the idea.
Oh, he had that Ryan Garcia cocktail that he.
The Ryan Garcia cocktail. Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
We have the real. How about the real Captain America? That's the way to set it apart, right there. You're the real.
Oh, I like
Captain
that.
America.
I like that.
I
like that.
But no, that's good stuff. And Stephanie, you're on pretty much all the social media platforms, at least the majority. But Instagram, I know it's Stephanie Simon Boxing, right?
Steph Simon Boxing.
Steph Simon Boxing. Okay, I got it. Steph Simon Boxing. So that's how you can follow Stephanie there. Steph Simon Boxing. And
yes, sir.
Yeah, we appreciate you taking the time there. You give us an hour of your time in California. You still have daylight, huh?
A little bit. It's enough to go run though. So you know where I'm going after this.
You're truly dedicated right there. Okay, that's what we like to hear though. I will say.
I gotta run off all these extra pounds that came out of nowhere, man. I don't know where they came from. It's like
I was gonna ask you what you ate in the aftermath of the fight, but it's good to know.
Pizza, burritos, birria tacos, the whole nine.
Yeah.
You gotta enjoy yourself after a fight.
Yeah, you do. A lot of
for about a
work
week. For about a week, and then you gotta simmer down. So, but yeah.
Hey, look, Stephanie, we are honored to be able to speak to you. We. Ever since our interview in February, we definitely would like to continue following your career, and we would love it if you'd visit us before and after, some of your fights, just so that we can go over some things and recap. We're not going to be too hard on you right now since you just had your first fight and you just dominated. There's not much critiquing to do.
Work on a sponsorship for her too on her next fight.
Yes, and I did get some sponsorship. Thank you for that. I really appreciate that. And I'm sending you some merch, Josh. Sending you some merch.
Oh, yeah. Hey.
You guys all get merch.
Hey.
Sending some merch, okay?
Hey,
so the Steph Simon Boxing.
Yeah.
100%.
Steph Simon Boxing, baby. But thanks to everyone who dropped in, tuned in. Be sure to go follow Stephanie right now. She has a YouTube as well. I know I tagged it in a post that I made, but follow her on Instagram. You're going to get to see more than just boxing, folks.
The whole show.
But thank you.
All right, y'all. Thank you, guys.
Thanks all.
All right. Peace.
Hey, salute to you, Mr. Kelvin Jefferson. Season 21 Fantasy Boxing League's prediction winner. I'm on your bumper this season, boy.
Boy.
All right. That is what it is. All right. Thank you. Have a good one all.
Bye.